Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back finally to another episode of the Celtic Career Mode. Sorry it's been about a week or so since the last one, just letting the heartbreak of the League Cup final pass over. That and the fact I've just had no time whatsoever on my hands to play, edit, FIFA, etc. It's just been a really busy week for me. So yeah, I apologise for the lack of it, but today we're getting right back into the league. Obviously the heartbreak of losing in the League Cup final is now behind us, and we go forward to try and just, forge on with the league, because I think we're out the FA Cup as well, if I remember rightly. We are out the FA Cup. So now, really, this season is about trying to salvage some European football in the league, because we've left ourselves in a position in the league right now where we can easily get European football. So that is the aim. Today's episode, Bournemouth, Newcastle, couple of international games to sim, and then we move on Chelsea and West Ham as well in that month. Next episode will be big with Liverpool and Arsenal both to play. But today we're obviously going to play at Stamford Bridge away from home. And the other game we'll play will be the away match to Bournemouth as well. We'll sim Newcastle and we'll risk simming West Ham. We'll try it anyway. But if we look at the league table before we head into this episode, we're not in a bad position whatsoever. And there was a big slamming of a door there. I apologise for that. There we go. 8th in the table. But, I mean, only points, even behind top, we're only 8 points away from where Spurs are. We're not going to finish top, of course, but we're not far from touching the top 4. So, anything is still possible in this season. Right now, I believe we're at full fitness and such. We are just Siminovic out with a red card for the next game. Right now, we find ourselves in a very good, healthy position. Our league season's going well. Obviously, it was heartbreaking losing that League Cup final, but what can you do? So now we're going to just head into the Bournemouth game. That team you saw on the screen a moment ago will mostly be the team that is playing. If we go on, I'll make the changes actually, because Siminovic has got a red card and you can see the team that we're going to play. But today we need to try and secure points that we have dropped in the last couple of months heading into that League Cup final, because I'm sure we dropped a few. Could go back and check, but I'm too lazy to do so. Holden is going to start at the back though with Christopher Aye. We're going to give him a go at playing, and aye, that's pretty much the team. I'm happy with that. One man who's been an outcast this year is Diaz. He's just not been great when I've played him, so Armstrong sticking in the team there, and there we go. Let's get into this game. So then, we headed down to the south coast. I think this is the furthest south we could travel in the Premier League. Might be wrong, but aye, we're here anyway. We're at the Vitality Stadium to take on Bournemouth for the first game of the episode. Now, the Bournemouth team, I didn't really know what to expect, if it's changed a lot, so we did indeed have a little look at the team sheet before we went into the game. Begovic starting in goals. A back four that were playing with Trippier, Wilson, Cook and Daniels. Obviously Trippier was signed from Spurs. Massimo Bruno, I believe that is out right, and they've got someone in the middle with Park Joo-ho and Ryan Fraser on the left. Fuentes, Mori and Andone go up front for Bournemouth. A very strong team, some good signings in there. Our first chance of the game, we hit the bar very, very early on. Dembele, a set piece to the corner, very close for it. Dembele getting a lovely connection, lovely ball in, but the connection's brilliant, and we're very unlucky. It just doesn't go a little bit lower and into the back of the net. Another set piece here. Roberts again in for Ayer this time. His header is caught comfortably by Begovic, but another good chance created from a set piece. Yeah, another set piece kind of. Well, is it? Throw in. Ball in. Davies meets it with his head this time. This time it dips over the bar. So many balls into the box, so many headers just heading off target. Dembele does well to get round the Bournemouth players here, and an absolutely thunderous shot. Don't know why we put so much power behind it, but went over the bar anyway. And Dembele, nice wee pass. McGregor finesses it, smacks the bar. We are knocking at the door of Bournemouth at the minute in this game, and we just couldn't find a breakthrough. Though Armstrong here does beautifully get round his man, gives it into Dembele. Dembele finds a little bit of space, takes a shot, save. Armstrong is there, he's made the move, right place, right time, and he gets us the lead at the Vitality Stadium after some lovely movement between him and Dembele playing together. A nice wee shot from Dembele. He's unlucky, and Armstrong was just at the right place, wasn't he, for second helpings. He gets it in the back of the net. That's what matters. A goal's a goal. And there we go, 1-0 up in the first half of the game down in Bournemouth. Stuart Armstrong getting the goal. We then tried to extend the lead just before half time. Armstrong running through the whole Bournemouth team, does so well. Try for a low driven shot, and that happens. Just low driven shots don't like me. They don't want to work, and Armstrong could have had us 2-0 up heading at half time. Bournemouth had a good chance to start the second half. Fantastic save from Pickford, then again a rebound, and Pickford manages to make a wonderful save yet again. Two very important saves in the start of the second half to keep the lead protected. But Bruno makes a little bit of movement here. Nice pass, and Fuentes Mori, all the space in the world, puts in the back of the net. Poor defending is all that can be said about that one. Fuentes Mori, the brother of the centre back, I believe. They look similar anyway. He put it in, we just gave him far too much space, there was no closing down, there was no actual defending involved. I mean, look at the space, where's the man? And the shot is a very good shot, and Pickford had no chance of getting across the goals to save it. Second half was a bit quiet after this point. Dembele does very well here to create a lot of space. Now his shot goes saved from Begovic. You know, it was difficult to get it by Begovic at points this game. Dembele then slips in Roberts into the game and he skies it. Could have won us it in the 89th minute. The biggest sitter we will see all season this career mode without a doubt. And because of that miss, we went home with a point. Yet another draw added to the tally. Disappointing at the end. We really should have been getting the win. We're getting made to pick the Scotland team now. But, I mean, these draws are getting beyond a joke. Beyond a joke, the draws we are getting handed with at the minute. It's a pain in the arse, but we're just going to have to try and knock them out of our system. We're down to 7th, well actually we're up to 7th I believe with that point. Not a bad position to be in, obviously top 7 does get us European football, so I would take a 7th place finish, but we need to eliminate these draws. And, you know, if we look at it, it's not too bad because the teams around us, Newcastle, Arsenal, Man United, even Spurs, all on similar amounts of draws, Newcastle even more. So, I mean, that isn't hurting us, but we could be flying high right now if we just cut out these draws. And the chances we've had to win these games and such, it'll have ruined it. Through games away in hindsight, we could have won a lot of those games. So now we've got Newcastle to play. The team I'm going to play is pretty much the exact same, except Upamecano has been asking for more game time, so we'll get him into the starting 11 for the next few weeks. And see how he does. Obviously, he's got a lot of potential as well, so we want to try and fulfill that. Newcastle now, let's get this done. We're just going to sim it, and by going by past, you know, previous experience of simming, we haven't had the best luck, so let's hope that is not the same today, as we really need to pick up 3 points after dropping some points away to Bournemouth, which we really shouldn't have, because the chances we had to win were unbelievable, the chances that we just wasted during the game. Going into half-time, absolutely nothing seemed to be happening. Mitrovic is coming on for Dolberg, as we still wait for a goal here. Acampos has missed a penalty for Newcastle. Sinclair scored, but 2 penalties given away in one game. I mean, where is the discipline? I know. What is it worse than drawing? For those interested in the international side of things, in the Euro qualifiers, we beat Turkey 2-1 in that game, and we lost 3-2, sadly, to Poland in the other. So I don't know how we sit, but at this point I'm beyond caring what happens in the national role. We're just kind of hoping that we make our way or bobble our way through to major tournaments. But it's time to play our second game of the episode, just about anyway. And it's against Chelsea, who we have beaten this season. I mean, I have a slight feeling we're going to draw at Stamford Bridge. Just a slight. I'm sure we've beaten Chelsea anyway. A slight feeling that we may draw. The changes we're going to make, I mean, Armstrong's looking a wee bit tired, so we're actually going to bring in Cham into the starting 11, bring McGregor forwards, and that looks about fine to me. Just don't draw, please. Second game now, and a very big one, a very important one, a very difficult one, may I add, as we headed down to Stamford Bridge, another long journey to the south side of England, and heading down to the capital to take on Chelsea, who are sitting, I think, first or second into this game, and when you look at the lineup, it's never going to be easy to beat them. 5 at the back, unchanged from what they have in real life at the minute. I don't think there was any signings involved here. Even Costa up front. I mean, that is a team that it's going to be difficult to break down, difficult to score goals into, and there was no easy task ahead. Chelsea could have had the lead. Pickford having to make a very strong save, strong hands to keep that one out from a set piece. Then Hazard just rips us apart. I don't know where the defenders are going. Good save from Pickford. A terrible clearance right back to Hazard, but that's into the hands of Pickford again, keeping us in it for the time. McGregor, his shot goes over the bar. Really our first chance of the game, the first chance that we just had to take because nothing was happening for us into the second half. Upamecano, magnificent defender, just wanted to keep that in because I thought that was a great recovery and great work. Nice wee ball played for McGregor. McGregor sees Dembele, a wee bit of space, and he hits it into the back of the net. And a very boring game, very defensive Chelsea are playing, making it extremely difficult for me, but we finally found that little gap that we needed to take the game to them, to take the lead, and we did get it. Dembele there for his 20th of the season, and it was a fantastic way to go up 1-0 because we really needed it. We needed to take the lead because Chelsea are so defensive, so difficult to break down in this game. We nearly humped it though with 10 minutes to go. Did we hump it? I don't know, because there we go, penalty. So is it another draw? Is it another draw that's going to be coming our way? Simonovic warned, and a stupid penalty giveaway once again. Hazard stepping up. We go the wrong way, but it hits the post, bounces out. We are okay for the time being, And the game finishes at Stamford Bridge. Celtic 1, Chelsea 0. A massive win against the closest thing to Rangers will have. So I'll take it. A lovely win. Fantastic result. Very happy.
When they sat off, they allowed the opposition to have the ball, but really did counter-attack well.
A massive win then at Stamford Bridge, and it's made me think, if we drop points here, I'm not going to be the most concerned man in the world. But we're heading over to the London Stadium now to take on West Ham, and I'm hoping we can do something positive. But we've just won at Stamford Bridge, so it's not going to hurt us at the end of the day if we were to lose. But I'm confident we can get. And they've got Christian Pulisic, Jesus, 1-0 West Ham. I mean, it's going to be difficult. When you go down a goal, then that's when it becomes extremely difficult, especially in simming games, because you don't have the power to, change anything tactically or anything like that when simming it. There we go, 2-0. 2-1. Roberts did claw one back, but as expected, we did in fact lose that game. But we are 7th in the table, well, joint 6th, really, the amount of teams. It's a very close top half. A very, very close top half. So heading into the next episode, a massive episode. We've got a wee bit of work to do to try and get that, European standard of place close to secure. If you have enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like and subscribe and all that good stuff, lads. And I'll see you all next time.